Welcome back to the Biz Apps Classroom. I'm Jason Gumpert, editor at MS Dynamics World. This is a series all about training and learning, and it's produced as a partnership with 365.training. On this episode, my co-host Julie Yack and I are talking with Ana Inés Urrutia. She's a Microsoft MVP for business applications who specializes in Dynamics 365 HR and Power Platform, among other topics. With the autumn conference season coming up, we discuss how conferences can do more to be inclusive by design. Scottish Summit in October, where Ana and Julie will both be presenting, is one example of an event making its own efforts on both inclusivity and accessibility. We also discuss what it's like to develop a career in enterprise software when you have a non-conventional job history. Both Ana and Julie share some of their professional background and what it has meant for their time in the Dynamics and Power Platform space. All right, we're back. Well, hey, Julie, good to talk to you again.
Yes, Jason, how are things?
Things are going well. You know, the temperatures are coming down. We've got lots of busy schedules coming up all around us, I'm sure. And we're here for another Biz Apps Classroom episode, which is always fun.
Yes, I really enjoy the talks that we have, just you and I, or when we have a chance to bring on a member of our community like we have today. We would love to welcome Ana to our podcast. Welcome, Ana.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hi, Ana.
Hi.
So can you take just a minute and introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yes, of course. My name is Ana Inés Urrutia, but Ana, it's okay. A lot of people have a couple of trouble with pronunciation, and it's fine. Ana, regular Ana. I'm an MVP. I've been working with the Microsoft community for quite some time, and I'm South American. I'm from Uruguay, but I've been living outside the country for quite some time, 5 to 6 years, and now I'm based in Switzerland from 2 years ago almost. I'm part of some some events and help organize those events, and one of them is Scottish Summit. That's coming quite close now. So, I really enjoy this community a lot.
Yes, and you definitely help make an impact. And I hope that others besides me notice that.
Thank you.
But we're definitely very glad to have you around. And I really love the work that you and the whole group are doing for Scottish Summit. It's my first time participating as a speaker for Scottish Summit, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I feel we had also these recordings of the podcast, and you've been there, and it's such a great event to bring people and to it's very community driven, so it's a very natural space for people to grow and to learn, and there are a lot of commitments from the organizing team to make it as welcoming and as fair as possible, as humanly possible. So it takes an effort, but I think that it's completely worth.
So tell me a little bit about that part of things. How are sessions selected? How do you decide what speakers and topics are coming to the event?
Yeah, so I don't remember very well the periods on when registration starts and finish at the call for speakers, but we have a period, of course, of receiving those sessions and people submit. We try to make a lot of emphasis in how good the description should be and what the content or we don't. It's very open, so we don't select only, for example, business applications. We do also have modern work. We have inclusion, we have diversity, we have Azure and all of that stuff that I know nothing about. And then what happens is when call for speakers closed, we have an app that's built on Microsoft technology, Power Platform, that sort of anonymize all the data from the sessions that can help you identify who the speaker is. So we don't know the name. We don't know if it has any reference to the speakers in the description. That is also I would say in between brackets and with a different, like a known name or something like that. So and then what we do is we have a group of volunteers and the organizing committee that we vote those sessions. We just and it's very nice. It's the first time that I've seen it, because you vote, you rank the sessions that you have that are there to vote, and then you cannot go to the next evaluation if you don't provide feedback. So you need to write down what is it that didn't make the cut for you in that session, and why you think it's a good fit or why you think it's not a good fit, and that feedback goes to the speaker. So yeah, that's the selection, and then of course the announcement and the posts on socials. But at least the people that is not selected is getting some feedback on why. And I think that sort of transparency is very well received from for the community. That's pretty much it.
As a veteran speaker, I can tell you that we hardly ever have the opportunity to hear why our sessions weren't selected, other than we had so many great sessions to choose from, right?
Yeah.
We don't always get that feedback, so I think that's great. And part of the goal for that type of process is to make it not only fair, but inclusive for new speakers, inclusive for people regardless of their gender or their racial background or religious background, or any of those things are just taken out of the equation, and it's just straight down to the technology.
Yes, absolutely. So we are humans and we have our biases, and that means that sometimes we're going to choose based on either the gender or if I feel closer to one person or the other. There are some topics that are very male dominated, so maybe we go more for those sort of profiles. But when you don't when you have no idea what you're voting, that very barrier is it's not there anymore. But then what we do have, because we still vote, we still rank them, but we need someone to validate that we're not being unfair to either way, right? Either to have like full women, like the entire event of women, or the entire event just male, or any other like demographics. But what we do is there's one person or two that they check that those sessions have like the selection that we did is fair, and it's very well balanced between all the people that we want to include. And as you said, new speakers is one of the big commitments from Scottish Summit, as well as 50-50 for I think that it's no longer 50-50, because we have also, there's some other groups that we want to include. But yeah, it's one of the fairest, I would say, sort of voting, selection, and inclusion kind of event that I've seen.
And I've been part of session selection for many different events over the years. And I know that we've always gone back and done that review to make sure that we are getting appropriate representation across our community. And sometimes we don't get enough sessions submitted by different demographics, and that's harder to deal with.
Yeah.
But as a woman in technology, and you as a woman in technology, we sometimes have to speak a little bit louder to be heard.
Yes, we do. And I think that some of the conversations we had, you and I, they stick with me, right? Because you've been in this environment for quite some time, and sometimes it's difficult to find your way, or just to speak, as you said, louder, and to make sure that your voice is there, and that you're doing it not just for you, but also for the people. That's to set an example, I would say.
Yes, and I know that we speak from a place of privilege. I know that there are a lot of aspects of my life and my world that have given me opportunities that not everyone has been given. And I fully understand and embrace that. And hopefully we show that as we are lifting others up around us.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. I fully agree. I don't have anything to add to that.
Sure.
One question, when you mentioned like the Power App that's sort of been tailored to really help support this, can you say anything more? I don't know if this is something you were involved in, but going with a bespoke tool to accomplish this goal, has there been a lot of discussion on sort of the selection committee or the organizing team of Scottish Summit to really sort of tailor that application to help support these goals?
Yes. So I didn't create the app. It's something that Mark Christie has created, and all the technical details, he's the one responsible. But not even the committee knows who got selected at the very end. We do have probably a couple of people, the original founders, I would say, that just go through the sessions and ensure that balance is met. It's the inclusion of everyone is there. But yeah, I think that this effort that we made is purely to fulfill the transparency that we have in the Scottish Summit as an event, and to also being open about it. I hope it encourages other events to do the same. So I don't know if that answers the question. But.
Yeah, that was part of the thinking I was maybe getting at. Was I imagine this is an approach or a process that evolves year after year. Probably the team won't do exactly the same thing this year as last year with session selection, for example. But the event rolls on, right? You're going to have a set of speakers and presentations and an agenda for everyone to see, just like you have every past year. So I also wonder what your reaction has been, or maybe what you've seen from the audience. I assume it's very positive because the event
Yes.
has been so successful, to the results of using this process.
I think that the people is, you cannot please everyone, right? And I think, yeah, Julie can relate to this in the selection of some of the sessions that, and probably Jason, you as well. You have a lot of connection with the community and also curating content, right? So I think that you cannot please everyone, and some people will just focus if they got selected or not, and there are others that they are happy to receive some feedback. They're happy to understand why they didn't got selected. They are volunteers, and they were before they called for speakers, and they will not leave or drop the volunteering work because they didn't got selected. It's like, okay, this was not my best. It was not my best submission. Next time I will try harder, or next time I know why I didn't got selected, so I will do it a bit better. But pretty much I would say that 99 or 98% of the people that is involved in this process is quite happy with how it's done.
So, Anna, when it comes to attending an event, and we go to learn and we go to meet people and network, why does it matter the demographic of the speakers? Why does it matter who we learn from?
Because I think it's a reflection. This is a difficult question, but I have the answer. I just need to, maybe it will not come so organized, but you know me, Julie, already.
Yes. Yeah. But those are the best answers. Because they're natural.
Yes. I think that it's important because people that are just joining for the first time should look at the community as a place that it's diverse and inclusive, and that has values that are aligned with themselves. So I think that it's very important to have that representation of different demographics and backgrounds, and even like academic background sometimes. So people can relate to and feel that this community, this event are a place that they are welcome, that they are seen, and there's probably people like them around. So yeah, I think that having a fair selection of speakers, not only based on the content, but also in the in the different backgrounds that we mentioned already, it's very important. And to be honest, I'm fed up with this sort of events that sometimes are just men, right? Or
Yes.
maybe just the same speakers as always. So, seeing fresh faces, giving space for new speakers, I think that is something that is very important and inspiring also, because if you go to an event that, I don't know, the keynote is made by Donna, for example, or someone that is, for example, a Scottish Summit, I think 2 years ago, we had one of the keynote speaker was deaf. So it was so interesting, right? And I think that a lot of people could relate to, making an impact just from the very first moment. And it was so good. So I think that that's one of the things that I appreciate a lot when going to diverse events.
Well, in this year's keynote, if I remember correctly, is Scott Hanselman. And Scott is very well known. He's been a veteran in the industry, but he too is one of the most inclusive professionals I've ever met. I've known Scott for 20 years, and he's always been all about how do we include everyone.
Yes, we're really looking forward to that, and I would say that it's not that I want women all over the place, right? I just want a fair representation, and of course there are plenty of male that are so supporting and allies that are helping these situations to be to change, like Scott. Jason, yourself, you're a supporter, you're an ally. So I think that's very, very important from our community as well.
Well, and either I am arrogant or I am naive, but throughout my professional career, I have always just assumed I belong or I wouldn't be there.
Yeah. It's not arrogant. You know where your place is, and that's your place. And there's nothing wrong about it. It's just...
One other related thing I was thinking about was beyond sort of conference session selection, can you talk about any other sort of places in this community right now where, and you touched on a couple, like hiring, where you see sort of opportunities to really push more for diversity, for inclusion of people who maybe haven't been until now? I mean, hiring was one of the top ones I was thinking of, especially as it sort of interfaces with the idea that, a new person showing up at an event that hasn't made an effort to change and grow and be more welcoming. If you're a new person in a community, you spot that immediately, right? It's immediately obvious when that's the kind of culture it is. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe even product, as the product line expands and it maybe gives more opportunities to more people in different areas, Power Platform. I mean, HR is an area that's obviously growing that you spend a lot of time in.
I've seen quite diverse teams, at least the ones that I'm interacting with at Microsoft with the solutions that I have, that I work with. And I don't see, probably there are opportunities, but I'm quite happy with the teams I interact. One of the developers that that I'm connected to, she's amazing. She's one of the, I have so only great words for her, and I admire her work, and she made everything, an amazing application with lots of love and very functional, which is very important. But then if we speak about opportunities to bring more diverse the flavor, there's one thing that is present, and it has been a constant in my life, and it's in the hiring processes. in any company that I've been connected to. In a way, there's an opportunity there, and it's not because they are like the companies don't want to, or it's just the way it was until now, or maybe a couple of years ago, and now everything's shifting. So I think that's a huge opportunity, and I like to see it not as a mistake, but as an opportunity for this institutions and places to rethink the way they hire and promote talent.
So, Anna, I have to ask, what was your last job before you were in tech?
I was a psychologist well, I'm a psychologist still, but I worked in HR. I was doing like hiring processes and employee development, performance management, onboarding, and all of the HR standard stuff.
So you stumbled into this by accident?
Yes, I did.
Yes, and so did I. My last job before I started doing tech was I was a preschool teacher.
Oh, wow.
I spent a few years as a stay-at-home mom. And I think that it's important for women to understand that part of their past where they didn't come a straight and narrow path, where they spent some time working in HR, they spent some time taking care of their children. I think that it's important to know all of that brings more value to you in our field.
Yes. And I think that if you look this sort of community from the outside, you can feel like, or at least I felt at the beginning, that I was not good enough because I didn't have a software engineering background or a deep technical. But now I feel so close to everyone, and there's so many different backgrounds. Like, we have one colleague that it used to be a bus driver, and then we have other people that are economists or people that didn't really study anything, and then they follow their passions and landed here. So it's such a diverse there's not one path forward. There are so many.
And all of that industry experience brings value to you in the workplace because you better understand the users of the technology that you are now building. Absolutely.
Yes.
It's always so great to hear some of those stories of where people have come from, because it does make it feel more relatable to whatever background someone is who's listening, because it likely doesn't line up with what they assume everyone else does.
Yeah, I find that. So we were interviewing for Scottish Summit. We're doing this podcast recordings, and we interviewed someone that I didn't know, and she had the same background as I did, but she chose, instead of the ERP side, she chose the CRM side of technology. And it was so interesting to have a conversation with her and see, okay, there's someone that also has done the same that I did. And it's like welcoming. It's a sense of, it's normal to not have an engineering degree. You still can be part of this and relate to, as you said, Jason, like relate to the people around you.
Right. And I have business degrees. I have a master's in business, and that helps me because I can understand the technology and I can put it in the words of the business. But a degree is not required to have those skills.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the most brilliant people I work with and from the community, so I have one of my closest friends that she studied so many different things you cannot even imagine, like fashion, and then she went for retail, and then she went for something else. She's so smart and so talented in what she does, but she doesn't have like it's just not required for her job to have a degree or something that is so strict or so, the path doesn't need to be just one way.
And sometimes we encounter people who have that official degree and that regimented path to get here, and I find that their scope is usually too narrow. They have a
Mm-hmm.
hard time seeing outside those lines.
Yeah, I remember when I was studying in university that I was always worried because my grades were never the best, and I thought like, oh God, what I'm going to do like when I need to work, like I'm not the best in the class. And then I realized that having, approving everything with the excellent score might not be might not represent how good or how bad you will you will grow into your career. It's just, and also we have to think about the fact that institutions probably they need to reshift the way that they teach. That's a topic for another 4 hours, but
Yes.
but yeah, it's the grades are not direct to the way that you will like grow in afterwards in your towards your career. Absolutely not.
Yes, my grades in high school were not very good. I did not get a fabulous education in high school. That I think I peaked in university for sure, and that was when I had a chance to choose more of what I wanted to learn.
Yeah, because during high school you're also very young,
Yes.
like to make those sort of decisions.
Could I ask one more question about maybe Scottish Summit in particular, since that's where we started? When it comes
Of
to
course.
like, I know we talked about sort of session selection, but with when it comes to the actual like in-session experience at that particular event, do you think there's anything worth mentioning there about what that experience is like that's maybe different or unique?
I think one of the things that is unique from Scottish Summit is that every year we do have some fixed members, but then we do also have some changing members on the committee that bring perspective into different places. So last year there were some of them, and this year they changed. Everyone is like volunteering, of course, so it's not, everyone is doing it because they want to, but it's very diverse, and we have a team that feels really comfortable challenging each other. So it doesn't matter that Mark or Ian are the ones who originated this movement. I will challenge them, and that's okay, So we have this sort of trust. I think between each other, and so maybe Zoe Wilson and I have one perspective on a topic, and Mark has a different one, but we work together to make it the best way possible. And the transparency and the debate of the things that we need to sort out, it's also very very sorry. But yeah, it's very good. It's a space for everyone to be heard and listened and seen. So yeah, I think that's one of the things that I would mention. And then other thing that we didn't discuss, but it's important as well. We have Mike Hartley, that he's making sure that all of the sessions and all of the event, like as a whole, is accessible for every single type of need that we could have in either with a venue, with anything. So that's also one thing that is worth to mention, because he's doing a great job.
And I think that's super important, because you can't always quickly identify someone as having that need. And so to not make them ask for accommodation and have accommodation just be built in, I think is a fabulous tribute to this event.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Are there any sessions that we should mention at the event? Julie, I know you have, a workshop there?
Yes, I am doing a pre-event workshop. It is my first day of Power Platform, and so we'll have an opportunity to get hands-on keys, building some things, and interact with Copilot, learn about data models, truly an introduction to your first day of Power Platform. And then also during our day together, we'll kind of slow down a little bit and look at the event schedule and help people figure out which sessions they should be going to, what is going to help them meet their goals from being at that event.
Yeah, that's very good. When we had the recording of our podcast, I think that you mentioned something like that, and it's so good for people that are just joining. It can be very overwhelming, right? Where should I go?
Fire hose of information, and so many of us have these big personalities, and we're all very approachable. But if you don't know that we're approachable, we don't look approachable. If that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that the best recommendation that I can give is go to Julie's workshop, and she will tell you where to go based on your on your interests. Then we have so much stuff going on, Jason, that I cannot recommend one because the rest are going to be mad at me later. So, but there's
some
great
evening
sessions.
Events as well.
Yes, they are. We have the pub quiz, which I've been winning with Zoe as a captain for 3 years now. So we're very happy that that's happening. We do also have the cabaret, which is an amazing show that you cannot miss. It's so good.
I have tickets for both.
Oh, nice. We had something similar in another event, and it was so funny and very empowering. And I think workshops. So we have the tickets for the event, the tickets for the workshops, and then the tickets for these 2 other activities that are outside the conference hours, but still part of the community things that we do in this Scottish Summit event.
And that's all October 17th through the 19th.
Yes, exactly.
All right, in Aberdeen.
Yes, I haven't been there
yet.
No, neither did I. So it's going to be fun.
I have a little bit of time to explore Aberdeen while I get over my jet lag before the workshop. So that will be nice. And then taking a few days of holiday with my sister after Scottish Summit to drive around Scotland for a few days.
Good. I haven't explored much of Scotland. Just went to Glasgow, and that was it.
Well, hopefully you'll have time while we're there.
No, I'm just very, very pleased and very happy to be here. I hope that when the organizers, the rest of the committee, or the attendees of the Scottish Summit listen to this, they don't want to kill me. I hope I said all the right things.
Yeah, you were very, very positive and very, very honest. So we couldn't ask for anything else.
But if something happens to me in the next couple of months, you know who was. I just really appreciate spaces like this one, and it's been a pleasure interacting with you.
Yeah, it's been great for us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us here once again in the Biz Apps Classroom. Thanks also to Ana Inés Urrutia for being here. If you want to support the podcast and improve your skills in the Dynamics and Power Platform space, we have a special offer for you on an annual plan at 365.training. Check out the link in the show notes. And that's it for this episode. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can reach us by email, julie@365.training or jason@msdynamicsworld.com. We will see you again soon in the Biz Apps Classroom.